Why, hello, you crazy people. Now listen up. Okay, I just got all these questions, all right, and it's like, you know, I love getting all these questions, no doubt, and I love answering them all and talking to everybody, and going down the list. But when you have all of these ridiculous questions that are mentioning me with like Japan 79 and all this ridiculous stuff, it's crazy. And look at this. One person decided to ask not one or three or five or even 7 questions. No. This person asked 16 questions. And just so I'm not bullshitting, look at this. 16. Does this person want me to lose my voice or something? I mean, because I'll gladly blow it out on this vlog. Oh, absolutely. I'll have no problem doing that. And, excuse me. Welcome to the 3rd episode of the GregsynthVlog here on the channel. And this is going to be a fun episode. Currently in the kind of the middle to end stages of moving into a new apartment. This is the new apartment, although you only see a blank wall here. I'm about, say, 65-70% moved in, and hopefully that'll be all taken care of towards the end of the week. And I'm currently waiting on my Paul McCartney album, Flaming Pie, because I was told to get that by a certain friend of mine who loves the Beatles. He held a gun to my head and told me if I didn't get this album that, he'd pull the trigger. And then, Kanye recommended me the album, was a he told me that, his discovery of Paul McCartney helped him discover this album called Flaming Pie. And so I was going off what he told me. So I ordered it. Hopefully it'll be here later this week. Heard it's very good from samples I heard, and friends of mine have said it was a very good album. And, okay, enough about that. Okay. I have 4 pages of questions here. Exactly 4. Right? Not 3.5, but 4 full pages of questions. Absolutely crazy. You people are nuts. And some of these questions are so freaking ridiculous that I have to answer them, and I just can't wait to answer them and you see my reactions, because they deserve a hell of a reaction. So yeah, let's, without wasting any more time, I'm going to start here. But first of all, I have talked to Boo Boo Kitty, and he agreed not to jump in here and randomly, interrupt the video and do a bunch of, cameo appearances by sticking his fat ass in my face or get in front of the camera or knock something off the table or something. So I talked to him, and hopefully he obeys, because I see him right over there. So hopefully, he obeys me, because he's just a fat cat. Look at you. Yeah, you better stay over there, because I got questions to answer. Don't interrupt me. Okay. So, where to begin here? Oh, let's begin on page 1. And what do you know? Page 1 has the person who decided to ask me 16 questions. That's right. 16. Is this guy nuts? He is nuts. And let's see. Oh, let's name the person. Mr. Nick Browning. Yes, the Nick Browning who's on YouTube as XX Slender Mode XX or something about that. And he comments on the Japan stuff. He loves it. He's uploaded some Queen stuff and some Elton stuff. I told him to do that because he wants to. Great. Love when you do that, because I want to see your reactions to these shows and all this crazy nonsense I have to deal with. But, you know, it does not help that, you know, as my camera goes erratic and I'm, you know, just in the middle of the video how professional, it does not help that you asked me 16 questions and I'm going to answer them right now. Okay, let's begin at question 1. Oh, actually, well, it's a good question. What version do you like better of See What a Fool I've Been, the BBC version or the B-side version? I have to go with the BBC version. It's much more raw and rockin'. Although the studio version, well, the B-side is very good in itself. Question 2. What are your thoughts on Son and Daughter? I think it's a kick-ass, heavy motherfucking song, and I love it. I love the studio version, and I love it live. It should have been played more often. Imagine the crazy tour versions. Question 3. Do you think we'll ever see some Australia 1976 concert rise from the dust? Do I think Australia 76 will magically appear? Look inside my crystal ball. Or I should take off my magical fedora. Oh, my hair is so horrible. The magical fedora says that Australia 1976 shall appear in this century. Well, hopefully we get something. I can't say if or when or I don't know. I don't know if it exists or not, but hopefully we get something new. And you know, anything new, regardless of era or tour, is excellent. So yes, hopefully it does appear. 4. What are your thoughts on Queen instrumental mixes? They're very interesting, to say the least. It's always cool to hear alternative, you know, versions of your favorite Queen songs, you know, instrumental versions, various other remixes. And it's really cool to hear these instrumental mixes because you can pick up on subtle nuances you would miss on the original versions. You know, when you remove the vocals, you can really uncover, you know, stuff on the, you know, on the backing track. So I think they're very interesting, and they can actually be very fun to hear. And then he asks, so what's my favorite instrumental mixes? There's this user who's on Queen Zone and YouTube. I think the user, going off memory, is like P3 Tech Q or something like that. I'm probably butchering the name, but this user posted a whole list of songs in instrumental form by removing the vocals using Audacity, and this user did their best, and my favorite is White Man, because it's just so cool to hear that awesome rock and progressive songs, you know, without the vocals. You could really hear Brian's guitar on there, and it's just a cool song to hear like that. So I'll have to go with White Man. And then I'm asked, name 5 multitracks you'd like to own if they existed. And he's specifically mentioning the studio multitracks, not like the rock band stems or anything, but let's see, 5 songs. I would love to hear like Good Company, Stripped Down, you know, multitracks, Good Company. I would love to hear Seaside Rendezvous. Let's see, what's another good one? It'd be cool to hear like the Prophet song, anything with like all the harmonies and overdubs and multi-tracks like that would be cool to hear in that form where you can just pick apart all those tracks. Prophet song, March the Black Queen is also another one I would love to hear. And well, let's see here. Another one I would love to hear stripped down. I would love to hear Innuendo too. So my 5 are Innuendo, the Prophet song, March of the Black Queen, and let's see, what was the other 2? Yeah, I already forgot. Good Company and Seaside Rendezvous. Those 5 would be my pick. And then question 7. Oh, we're only halfway done with the first question, and we're already 9.5 minutes into the video. He asks me, do you think Queen Forever was kind of unnecessary? Actually, to be honest, It all depends on the fan groups, because there are so many different, fan types of Queen that, it's hard to really pigeonhole a question like that. For a hardcore fan who has all of the compilations and studio albums, yeah, I could see it not being necessary. But to a casual fan who's just getting into the band and wants to start off their collection, I would say no. I think that would have been a good release for them. But it all depends on who you are and what type of Queen fan you are. Casuals may find it to be more appealing than, say, a collector or a hardcore fan, but that's just my take on it. Then he asked me a non-music, non-Queen related question. He asked me, what is your favorite video game? My favorite video game is Super Smash Brothers. And it is the original version, the Nintendo 64 version. That was way back in 1999. Dear God, I'm so dating myself. That is actually before some of you subscribers were born. Yeah, it was about. I got that in Christmas of 2000. I remember that because I see there's a home movie of me, unwrapping it at my grandma's house, and I'm jumping up and down like some crazy maniac, yelling, "I got Super Smash Brothers! Yeah, yeah, yeah!" It's absolutely. I'm looking back on it laughing, but I love that game. It still works. My Nintendo 64, is getting up there in age, but it plays great, and I love Super Smash Brothers. Also, I love Perfect Dark, GoldenEye, Mario Kart, Mario Party games. Basically, I love Mario games, and I always enjoy like Grand Theft Auto style. So those are some of my favorite video games. And question 9. Do you sound like Kermit the Frog when you get really frustrated? When you have to mention a concert you don't like? Oh, hell no, I don't sound like Kermit the fucking Frog. No, I sound like an angry Michigander who gets really pissed off when I have to mention a show I don't like or something I don't like. I just sound like an angry Michigander who raises his voice to artificial heights that he can't reach naturally, and brighten my voice up a little bit, and raise my voice a little bit higher. But I don't sound like Kermit the fucking Frog. I sound like an angry Michigander. There's your answer. What is my favorite sound to make? My favorite sound to make is I don't know. I don't know, the higher talking I like to do when I'm very excited or pissed off. That's my favorite sound to make. Yeah, and that's what I'd like to do. Question 11. Would I ever visit Australia for any reason? Yes, I would. There's a laundry list of reasons why I would like to visit the land down under. One, so I can pay tribute to Steve Irwin. 2, so I can finally see the real life angry birds, those cassowary things. My God, I've seen videos of these and pictures, and they look like angry fucking birds kicking at people. It's crazy. 3, I'd like to have a shrimp on a Barbie, or whatever the term is called. 4, I'd like to see kangaroos crossing the road, because I heard that's fan-fucking-tastic. And 5, I would like to personally meet you and have a little talk with you about all these freaking questions and Japan 79 and all this freaking nonsense. Absolutely nuts. So yes, I would love to visit Australia for a number of reasons, those 5 being the prime ones. And plus, touring Sydney and all the Elton John related stuff's also cool too, so we'll add that to it. Question 12. Oh, we're getting towards the end, don't worry. Question 12. What is my favorite Queen concert from Japan? Really? Really? You have to mention the J word again. But my favorite Queen concert from Japan has to be a cross between the 5-1 75, not the 79 one. Hell no, that's not on my favorites. Although it's a guilty pleasure. But 5-1 75 or the 331 76 show is also awesome. I love that one. But 5-9 85 is also fantastic. It'd be down to those 3. If I had to pick out of those 3 to narrow it down, I would probably pick the 75 show as my favorite. I love that show personally. And then Then he asked me, what are my thoughts on Yokohama 75 from April 30th? Yeah, 4:30. What an awesome date. I think it's a good show overall. Not as strong as 5-1, but 4:30 is a good show in its own right. Some pretty cool renditions of songs. Question 15. What are your thoughts on Tokorozawa 1982? I think it's a cracking good show, to be honest. It's an amazing show. The body language is passionate and full of emotion and interesting experimental vocals. Play the Game is awesome. Love the vocal styling on that. Where the Champions has some cool stuff going on in it, especially in the second chorus. What more can I say? The guy singing in the right channel on the one source sounds awesome. And Teo Toriate sounds absolutely magnificent. So, yes, those are my thoughts on Tokorozawa 82. And the last question is, what are your thoughts on 5/11/85, the Tokyo show that was on video? I think it's a good show overall. Not the best show out of the Japan ones, and certainly not the best on the Works tour, but it's a decent show. It's got some, pretty good renditions of songs. Hammer to Fall, Rio Gaga being pretty solid, Dragon Attack being cool. Impromptu's awesome. And it's a shame that the official release or whatever, the pirate release, had such an awful mix that the keyboards were pumped way high in the mix and the guitar was down low and it sounded like frickin' Queen meets Duran Duran or something. It's like, I got nothing against Duran Duran because I have quite a few of their songs in my iTunes, but that doesn't work well with Queen. But thankfully the radio broadcasts have better mixes. So yeah, it's almost 17 minutes into it, and that was just the first question. I love it. Thank you so much, Mr. Nick, for all those questions. I highly appreciate it. And if you want to ask another 16 questions, be my guest. I'll answer them. Again. Woo! I'm going crazy. And then, okay, now we have someone that actually makes sense here and actually asks a sensible question, unlike all this crap I had to answer. Kermit the Frog. Well, let's see here. Mr. Jordan Chin Wonder 2 asks, if Freddie was able to sing the high C in We Are the Champions in the second chorus, because as far as we know on the recordings he never did do that, what version do you think he could have tried it for? Well, a number of shows from the Prime Live he could have a shot at it. Probably the best bet would probably be a Crazy Tour or those 81 shows where he hit the first high C. I would probably give it edge to those, and possibly Live Aid too. So those are my guesses on that. I wish he did hit it, but at least we have some very good versions of We Are the Champions. And then we have Beta Gabrielle over here. First question is, which is the greatest version live of Bohemian Rhapsody by Gregsynthbootlegs? The words greatest, Bo Rap, and Gregsynthbootlegs do not belong in the same sentence. I have never sung that song live in front of anybody for good reason, because it's Bohemian Rhapsody. Vocal cords are a little bit, let's just say, unpredictable at the moment, since I've been moving around and everything, because the rest of the question, he says, please sing Bo Rap, or some of it, and I'm like, no, chords aren't exactly in the shape. I haven't sung in like a week and a half, and I've been moving from place to place, getting stuff ready, so my chords are not really exactly in shape to sing anything at the moment, especially a song like Bo Rap, because I really don't feel like tarnishing Freddie's song here live on a vlog. But the second question, however, is something I can give an even better answer to. Dreamer's Ball. It's great live, isn't it? Hell yes, it is a good song live. Do you know why they deleted that song from the set list? In which tour would you like to hear this song? In between Live Killers and the Magic Tour. Well, I think they dropped the song after the Jazz Tour because, it was just an album-only track. It wasn't like a hit or a hit single, and it was a fairly obscure song that wasn't the most, it worked well live, but, it wasn't like it wasn't like hard rocking, and it wasn't built for the stage as well as some of the other songs. It was more of like a chill out, mellow kind of a sit down song. I mean, we already have like "Love of My Life" for that, but I think they dropped it because it was just an album track that just had its appearance on one tour. But if I wanted to see it on another tour, I think it would have been cool on the next tour, the Crazy Tour. Nice little intimate settings in those club venues, like I think it's a Purely Tiffany's, and there was some other venue. I keep forgetting what the hell it is. They like Tottenham Mayfair or something, I think. On those little club settings where it can only fit a couple hundred people, the bar's 5 yards from the stage. I think it'd be cool to play that nice little ditty in those little venues. So yeah, I'd pick the Crazy Tour for that. Now we're going to page 2. All right, Matt's Comics asks a few questions, and we're going to start with number 1. Did Queen ever do the full version of Saturday Night's All Right for Fighting live? No, they did not. They only did the choruses, repeatedly in a vamp format. If you want the full versions of that song live, you'll have to listen to Elton John for that, because he wrote the song. But no, Queen did not do the full version ever live. Although some of the longer ones on the Works tour were about 4 minutes, but they never did the full version, just the chorus. 2. What do you think it would sound like if Elton and Freddie did a duet? Well, I think it would sound pretty cool, to be honest. You have you have two vocalists, different styles, but I think it would be cool to have a nice like a pop rock song with piano bass. Have the two piano players go at it on the track, duel, and sing some stuff over it. So I think a duet would actually sound really, really, really cool. And I know Freddie guested on an Elton show in 1982 on one of the Manchester shows. There's a recording out there of Manchester 82, but it's not the one Freddie was on. But it'd be cool to hear him sing with Elton on the rock and roll medley. That'd be cool. Question 3. What 2 Elton John songs would you like to hear Queen cover? Let's see. I would love to hear The Bitch Is Back. Would be just awesome. I could totally imagine Freddie out there, wearing, the I Want to Break Free boobs and stuff, singing The Bitch Is Back, but hopefully he doesn't do it at 9/7 or Vienna or 2nd Brussels or anything with the squawking voice, because, I'd cry. But, I think The Bitch Is Back would be amusing, but that'd be cool to hear. Also, I also think a Queen version of Pinball Wizard, even though it'd be Elton did a cover of the Who song, but it'd be cool to hear Queen do a cover of Pinball Wizard. And also, let's see, another good song Queen can do by Elton that would translate really well to the live stage with those 4 musicians. Probably, let's see. I'm trying to go through the catalog. What would be good? No, like an up tempo number, like "Teacher, I Need You" would probably sound cool. I could totally, I can envision that going off well, and it actually would probably sound cool. But yeah, I'll go with those 2 for being the songs. And then the 4th question is, what songs would Queen perform if they performed on MTV Unplugged? It'd be cool to hear Queen in that setting, but they would probably play "Love of My Life" for sure. Probably "Is This the World We Created." It'd be interesting to hear an acoustic version of Bo Rap. "Hammer to Fall" probably, because I know that was done acoustically. 39. Maybe bits and pieces of the Prophet song with White Man. That'd be cool to hear those songs acoustically. Those would work well. And We Will Rock and We're the Champions. So those are guesses. Let's see. Thank you for the questions. And then Christian V asks, why did Queen never perform the full version of the March of the Black Queen live? Well, it's because it's just so complicated too. Back then, they did. I'm guessing they didn't know how to translate that complex of a song to the live stage, because we're talking 1974 here. You know, technology was nowhere near as good as it is now, and nowadays you can find people, you know, in bands covering the whole song live and, you know, doing a pretty good job translating it. But back then, you know, you have all the harmonies and the complex parts and stuff, so they may have rehearsed it for the tour, and it may have not come off well live in a rehearsal setting, so they just probably just did the short little medley part they always did. But that's my guess. It probably was too complex to perform live back then, and you know, you couldn't get the full harmonies and overdubs and multi-tracks, so it probably wouldn't sound right. So that's my guess on that. Now we got Christopher McManus asking these questions. 1. Is it true Queen had gigs planned in South America for 1983? Yes. I believe there was a show planned for Uruguay, but it got, you know, canceled. That's the only one I do know of, but there may have been something else, but that's the only one I know of. Question 2. Are there any Queen albums that are great, but you would trade one or two songs for things that were also recorded at the sessions but not included on the album itself? To be honest, I would keep the albums the way they were, for the most part. Although, if I had to switch something around, I would probably swap out Fight from the Inside off of News of the World and replace it with Feelings, Feelings, that hard rockin' song, because that sounded like a cool song. That would be total rockin'. And that'd probably be the only thing I would change, to be honest, because I'm happy with what the studio albums are and everything. And then question 3. If Freddie was still alive and Queen got to a point where they toured India, do you think he would have, you know, a reminiscence about growing up there and maybe would visit, or would he dismiss it? I can't say for sure what Freddie would do, but I would think maybe he would at least visit. He would visit the country. Like, if they did a show, you'd probably tour it and probably learn a lot about it, maybe, and, you know, probably just visit landmarks or something. I don't think he'd totally dismiss it or anything, but Freddie Mercury, you know, the legendary singer in Queen is, you know, very different from the Freddie Mercury growing up. Maybe he would, I don't know, maybe he would just, you know, look at everything and go, but just be genuinely interested in it. But I don't think he would dismiss it. I don't think, though. And then he asks me, what is my favorite show opener? That would be The Fast We Will Rock You. That is my favorite Queen concert opener of all time. Energetic song. I love when that song is played in the fast format live, and it works so well as an opener. From the opening chords, kicks up the adrenaline, drum beat kicks in. It's great. I love it. Fast We Will Rock You, for sure. My favorite opener. 5th question is, if Freddie and Elton played a show and played just one Queen song, what would you like them to play? If Elton joined Freddie on stage at a Queen show, well, it'd be cool if Elton did Saturday Night Sorry for Fighting and they did that. That would be awesome. But if it's a purely Queen song, Bohemian Rhapsody would probably work really well, you know. The two pianists going at it. And maybe during the opera section, instead of a tape being played, maybe they could just have like a little piano duel, you know, in between it, you know, going like that, and then go right back into the rock section. But it'd be cool to have Elton and Freddie do Bohemian Rhapsody on stage. That would be awesome. And then last question. Pick 5 songs to be played from the Miracle album live. I think Khashoggi's Ship would be good. The Invisible Man. Breakthrough for sure. I Want It All, definitely yes. I think The Miracle would be too complex, but Party, I think Party would work well live too, because it sounded like a cool opener. They could be used that as like the intro music, like played on a backing tape and then go right into the show. Or if they play it live, they could rock it up a bit, because some of the songs in The Miracle have a lot of like electronic effects and synthesizer and drum machines on it. But imagine it in a more rockin' setting, and fuse Party and Khashoggi's Ship together, and it could go off very well live. And that's what I would go with. All right. Then we have Sam, who is Queenaholic 1994. He asks 4 questions. First one: if you had to pick one Japan show from 1979 to be released on CD, what would it be? Oh! Another one of these questions. Oh, thank you so much. You people are crazy. Every time I see questions for these vlogs, Japan 79 has to be brought up again and again and again and again and again. You people are sick in the head. Asking me about Japan 79 and, seeing what my reaction is. I don't like that stuff. It's a guilty pleasure, but I don't like it. No. And as I said in the last vlog, I think you guys have some sort of sick sadomasochism, 50 Shades of Grey thing going on, where you're trying to inflict some freaking torture to me about Japan 79. No. 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 No, 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 no. Osaka 79. That's my pick. First night. Question 2. If you had to choose of releasing one concert from each tour, which would they be? Oh, one of these difficult ones. Oh, this is going to be fun. From the Queen 1 tour, here's what I would pick. Queen 1, I would pick that London show at the end from Hammersmith. That'd be cool to have them and Mott the Hoople. Queen 2, I would probably pick something early, another England show, another show from England, maybe potentially with Fairy Feller's Master Stroke on it. That'd be pretty cool to hear. And then from Sheer Heart Attack, for some reason, I've been itching for Newcastle 74. That for some reason that came to me. Newcastle 74. From the Opera Tour, no, it's not Newcastle 75, because no, Freddie will not hit a C5 at that tour, at that gig. But to be honest, for the Opera Tour, the very first show, the very first Liverpool show, because it'd be interesting to hear that, because we got the second night, but maybe the first night will hold some surprises. Who knows? First shows of tours are often very interesting. And then from the Summer '76 show, the first Edinburgh, because we have the second one, but the first night may be awesome. Will probably be awesome too. From Races Tour, I would probably go with either Basel or another UK-based show, whether it be Second Glasgow or I would probably go either Basel or the last show. The second Earl's Court would be my two picks there. News of the World Tour, that's a tough one. 77 leg. Since we're talking about such an epic tour, either something early like Providence or Toronto, or from 78, I would like to see the second London show released, because we got the first night in bad quality. I mean, we have it, and we have the third night, the last night, incomplete, but maybe a full copy's out there. I don't know, but having the second night would be cool. Jazz tour. 78. Probably, I want to say the one of the last gigs after Oakland. I think it was like Long Beach 78, or Detroit 78, and then for the live killer stuff, I don't know, another one of those German shows. Maybe Saarbrücken would be cool. That middle leg, it was awesome for the music, and Fred didn't sound too bad, so I'll go with that. And yeah, okay, Japan 79 will get love. I want Kobe 79 so I can hear how bad the voice is and how great the solos are. And Crazy Tour, any of them. I don't know which one to pick, to be honest, but I don't know. Maybe that London show where they only could fit 2 lights in the club from Tottenham Mayfair. That I'll pick that one. Game Tour 80, I would probably pick either Joe Louis Arena, the Detroit show, because apparently they couldn't do Love of My Life or start it because the crowd was so rowdy. 81. We have. I would love to see the second Montreal released in full on an audience recording, because we got the first night, but it'd be cool to get the second night too, so you can compare and the sources and everything, and that'd be pretty cool. From the Hot Space Tour, second Munich for me, and then later on, I don't know, maybe the second Chicago show from 82, and then we have all the Japan shows, so there we go. Works Tour, second Dublin for sure, and then from 85, Auckland. Auckland 85 is the 85 show I have to get, because I would love to hear a completely drunk Freddie on stage and all the comedy involved with that show. And then for the Magic Tour, first Zurich, because it's the only one we don't have. So there we go. And 3, would you like to see the Nebworth Park 86 show released on CD? Yeah! Live Magic isn't enough. They butchered the fuck out of that release by taking bits and pieces of Nebworth and the Wembley shows in Budapest and editing parts of the songs. Like, you don't do that. No, that's a fucked up release. Yes, I would like to see the full Nebworth show released on CD. I mean, they got it in the vault. Greg Brooks said the audio is intact, and it'd be, and going off his word, although from some sources it's not the most reliable source, but I would love to see Nebworth 86 released in full. Any Queen fan would like to, and yes, the Magic Tour has a lot of, maybe a little bit too much of overexposure with all the official releases like the Wembleys and Budapest and stuff, but for the last show of Queen, it's necessary. It's the last show with the mustached legend on stage with Queen, so they have to release that in full. So yes, I would like to see Nebworth Park released officially. 4, could you upload the audience source of Milton Keynes 82? Yes, I will, this week. It will be up this week. Thank you. Page 3. And we still got one more page after this. All right, Lewis, 165, 1997. My favorite Portuguese subscriber has asked me 7 questions. That's right, lucky number 7. And I shall answer all 7 of these questions. What's the best version of Dreamer's Ball? Well, shockingly, there's no bad versions, to be honest, even in Japan. Best versions I heard, Oakland, probably Oakland 78, because that has the rowdy atmosphere and, very good delivery of the song. I'll go with Oakland 78. That's the one. That's the best one I've heard in recent days. I'll probably have to check them all again, but that one stuck out positively for me, so I'll go with that one. The second question: what's the show you've listened to the most? Out of the official releases or the unofficial stuff. I would have to go with Hammersmith 79. Has been the show I've listened to the most because it was one of the very first shows I've ever listened to by Queen, and it always has a great listen, and it's always been great listening to that show. So that's probably my number 1 played Queen show on my computer. 3. What's the best show from Japan? 1981. If you would have said 79, I would have fucking killed you. But at least you said 81, which is marginally better. I would probably go with the first or the second night. Those two have a lot more positives and negatives, especially compared to the other 3 nights. So it's between those two. I think it might have been. I'm trying to remember what night it was, but I think the second night. I think it's a tie, but I'll have to go back. But it's definitely those two are the strongest ones. Fourth question: Japan 75 or Japan 85? Thankfully, you picked the 2 years that are very good for Japan, because if you would have picked the other ones, I'm losing my hair because of questions like that, so I have to wear the hat, and I'm just gonna lose more hair if you ask that question again. But Japan 75 has better improvs and solos and music. 85 has its moments, and I love 5-9 a lot and 5-8, but overall I would probably go with the sheer heart attack shows overall. I think they win, although I do like the Japan 85 tour very much more than most of the other shows on the other parts of the Works tour, which is ironic because Japan saved the fucking tour on the Works tour. Question 5. No, it's not me coughing. But which of the Rainbow shows do you prefer? I love that Rainbow official release that was released months back. Out of all of them, I would probably have to go with the March one. It sounds a little bit more raw sounding, a little less 2014 played with. It doesn't. It sounds more like a rock show from the time rather than a professional, polished, modern technology Pro Tools studio thing. And plus, it just sounds better overall. Although I do like the November shows a lot, but I have to give the edge on the March Rainbow show. 6. Do you think Queen should have hired a backing guitarist or singers? Well, you had Spike Edney on the Works tour and the Magic tour, but for Queen, it could have its advantages and disadvantages. The advantages would be the songs would sound more full live if you had the extra guitarist and extra backing singers, and you could see Brian May's solo tours where he had hired backing singers to fill out the harmonies more and did the highest bits on like Resurrection, and you had another guitarist on stage, but it may sound more full, and stuff, but it would sound less raw and more polished. And if you're a fan of, say, like rock and roll raw stuff live, it would sound a little bit too professional and polished sounding. I mean, especially on the early stuff, like the early hard rock and stuff. And then, but overall, I would say no. I think what the four guys on stage plus the extra musician from '82 onwards was good enough. Because if you had something extra on stage, then I don't know. I think the dynamics live wouldn't have been the same. Even though on paper it may sound like a good idea, sound wise it may be different than what was presented. So I'll have to go with no on that. Last question. What's the best performance of We Are the Champions between Hammersmith 79 and Stockholm 86? Both are good. I'll go with Hammersmith 79 overall. Sounds a little bit more fresh sounding, even though it's the last show on the tour. So I'll give the edge to Hammy. And oh wow, the shit has hit the fan now. We have come to somebody by the name of Elton Bootlegs, who decided to piss me off again with some of the best questions I've ever read in my life. Excuse me. I almost knocked it off the table. Oops. First question. Do you like 1 minute and 6 seconds? Hell no, I don't like 106. You fucking kidding me? The 58-second question that was asked last time surely didn't help. This doesn't help either. So no, I do not like 1 minute and 6 seconds. 2. Who is your favorite subscriber? Oh, at least that's somewhat legit. I don't know personally who my favorite is. I mean, I got currently going off the top of my head, there's over 3,000 subscribers that are watching my videos and watching the abuse I've gone through and everything. I can't say who a favorite is because then, you know, that would piss everybody else off. But what I will say is there are certain people who are subscribed to me that I speak to on a fairly regular basis through Skype and Facebook. And without naming names, I'm sure you people that are getting that reference know who you are. So those subscribers are in a certain class of their own. That's not to demean everybody else, but you know, it's like when you have people that watch your videos and subscribe to your channel, that's awesome. You know, there's an audience there, and you know they rely on you to provide stuff. You know, they subscribe to you for a reason. They want to listen to well, in this case, they want to listen to Queen shows and stuff. But you know, there's a small percentage of these subscribers that I speak to a lot, and on Skype and Facebook and I'm in contact with them a lot, and you know, they're awesome, and you know they you know who you guys are, so I don't need to go on, but you know who you are. Question 3. How you doing? Well, I am doing just fine. That's all I'm doing. Thank you for asking me. Question 4. Some of your old descriptions are shit. When will you change them? I'll change them as soon as I find the time and have the energy and get the requests. But yes, I agree. My old descriptions were absolute shit. I was just starting out. All the ones from 2010 are horrifically bad. The 2011 ones are bad. 2012 ones started off bad. They slowly got better. But yeah, the old descriptions, especially from the first couple of years, they're horrible. Not detailed. Some of them contain wrong info or something. Not detailed, boring, you know. And yeah, the old ones were shit. So yes, I will change them. I'll just have to go through them all and re-listen to all the shows that have the really shit descriptions and then rewrite them. But yeah, I'll change them. Question 5 is, you feeling all right? Well, yes, I'm feeling all right. Thank you very much for asking me that. Man, you are so awesome, Elton Bootlegs, for asking me how I'm doing and if I'm feeling all right. I am feeling so peachy right now. So thank you. I am feeling all right. Question 6. Did you know that Freddie Mercury played the piano? Hell no, I didn't know he played the piano. I thought he was faking it the whole time. And I thought he wasn't playing a piano, but rather some big gigantic instrument thing with keys. But no, I didn't know that until recently. So thank you very much for telling me that. I highly appreciate it. Question 7. When you wake up, do you know what you're going to be? You're going to be dead. Fuck off. Question 8. I like 30 seconds, do you? Hell no, I don't like 30 seconds, because every time you and timestamps get together, it turns into some of the worst equations I've ever seen in my life. So no, I do not like 30 seconds. Pardon me. Thank you. Next person, we have the Quinn Ferguson character again, which, by the way, is a very cool name. And thankfully, unlike the last bozo, he actually asks legitimate, cool questions that don't require me to go off on a random rant. They're actually detailed. So thank you for asking me questions that make sense here compared to the other guy here. So yeah, Elton Bootlegs, you should learn a lesson from Quinn Ferguson here. Question 1, Quinn asks, do you believe the rockified versions of the Hot Space songs should have been continued in later tours? Yes, I believe so. If they were played live, yes. I know Staying Power was, but, that got dropped because, it didn't sound good. But yeah, and then he says, for example, would you have liked to have heard Action Stay in the Magic Tour? I think it would have sounded cool. But yeah, if they continued to play Hot Space stuff live, I would love to keep the rock format because I think the Hot Space songs were meant to be played live. So yes. Second question, which is better, Freddie's Crazy Tour voice from Newcastle or Freddie's Live Aid voice? This fucking question again when you're comparing two great things. I hate that. And then he asked me, and which voice would you have overdubbed on the Japan 79 concert so the vocals don't torch you? Hell no, stop asking me questions about Japan 79. No amount of that is going to help me. I could overdub Japan 79 with the fucking Crazy Tour vocals, and the thing would still haunt me because I'd be thinking about the original goddamn vocals on the whole fucking show. So no, it would not help. Ugh. I'd still be tortured because I'd be thinking about the frickin' original vocals squealing and squawking to 15,000 fucking notes. No. I'd still be tortured psychologically. Maybe my ears wouldn't, but up here, I'd be tortured. And about the first part of that question, I love Live Aid. That has some of his best performances, but as a whole, overall, I would go with the Newcastle performances because we're talking almost 2 hours as opposed to 20 minutes. And it's a more definitive answer to that question to have the Newcastle shows overtake Live Aid. Although I love Live Aid, so I'll have to go with Newcastle on that one. And then that's what voice would I've overdubbed on Japan 79. As far as that goes, that show can just go die. But if I had to pick something, I'd pick the vocals from the next tour because at least there, the songs sounded like the songs. Thank you. Question 3. Brian May claims that he has soundboard recordings of every Queen concert. Do you know this is actually true? Yes, it is true. Brian has mono soundboards to all the Queen shows. As a personal, listening in the car or, listening from time to time for performances. But yeah, he's got mono soundboards. Now, I wish those were fucking public, but, what can I say? At least we have these audience recordings. Question 4. Have you ever thought about updating the descriptions of your V82 concerts? Yes, as Elton the fucking Bootlegs asked about my shitty descriptions on the old uploads. Yes, Vienna 82 will be updated. I promise you, they will be much better than the current descriptions. Question 5, which has multiple parts, and it's a would you rather kind of question. It is, would I rather remove the electronic drums from the Works tour and give Freddie his hot space voice? Oh, thank God. That is much better. Or have the Jazz tour shortened to half its length and Freddie's Crazy Tour voice appear during the live Killers tour and stay at Newcastle level, all the way through to the Japan 79 shows. Okay. Basically, it's basically like saying, okay, we'll make the Works tour less shitty, and then make the Jazz tour less shitty, and add the Crazy Tour vocals on there. Okay. Overall, I would probably go with the Jazz tour one, because on the Jazz tour, you had the solo, the musicianship was better on that tour. So and I always said if the Jazz tour had Freddie's vocals in top shape, it would probably be one of the best tours. And there's only so much you can do for the Works tour, but for the Jazz tour, you could just replace the voice and everything would be peachy keen. But yeah, I would love to have the live Killers tour with the Crazy Tour vocals on it. That'd be awesome. So yes, I will go with B. Now, final page. Mr. Lawrence Santos asks me this. Boston 76 versus Edinburgh 76. Two great shows that I would highly recommend. Overall, I'd probably pick the Boston 76 show overall, even though Edinburgh is still very good. But I'll go with Boston. The Best to Date at the Races tour show. As a whole, I would probably say Bristol. I would probably say Bristol overall. Excellent atmosphere. Band's good. Freddie sounds good. Glasgow would be a close second to that. And then Gothenburg and Copenhagen could be nominated too. 3. The best and worst Queen 1 and Queen 2 tour shows. Well, there's no worst. They're all great shows on all those tours. There's no weak show or bad show. I don't know. If I had to split hairs for Queen 1, the weakest would be the London radio broadcast because some of the harmonies weren't clean and Fred wasn't quite as, I'd say, gutsy and precise on that show as some later ones. And then as far as Queen 2, again, no bad show, no weak show. They're all great. I don't know. If I were to split hairs there, I don't know. I heard some kind of weird moments on like Providence and stuff. But other than that, it's really comes down to just running it through a comb, basically. There's really no worst show or bad show at all. But as far as the best ones, for Queen 1, I love Glasgow. Shame it's missing a couple songs on it. I think Manchester is fantastic, and Oxford's cool. Queen 2, the Rainbow Show is fucking awesome. That's definitely up there. New York is cool to listen to, and that New Orleans show is also cool too. Overall, I'd probably say stuff like Glasgow 73, Manchester 73, and Rainbow 74 would probably be my nominations. And then we have Dimitri / TSS Killer, who's about to piss me off some more with his questions. Excuse me. I'm going to have to go back so you get a gargle. Hold on. Okay. And now what I will say is I've officially hit 1 hour on this video because I saw the countdown timer go off. But yeah, Dimitri here wants to piss me off some more with his rather Bronx way of asking some questions. But in the interest of fairness to everybody who's going to see this vlog, I shall read every question for you, and I will give you my answer. Question 1. Do you like the purple tongue? Hell no, I don't like the purple tongue. No. You torture me with that video and those pictures for, I don't know, the past, few days or so. It looks like a freaking goddamn gigantic diseased worm mixed with a big gigantic flapping penis, okay? Painted purple or something. I hate that. I hate the purple tongue. I hate when it gets referenced with Lick It Up by Kiss because I think of fucking Gene Simmons, whipping his tongue out and a bunch of horrible things going on there. I don't like the purple tongue. Hell no, keep that thing away from me. 2 is, would you rather have hell or hallelujah? I would rather just go away. No. Neither of them. You're going to hell for that question. And Hallelujah is a very good song by Leonard Cohen. And Rufus Wainwright did a great cover of that too. Question 3. Do you pray to someone new when you're locked up in the rock? Words fail me on that. I love leather jackets. Not the album, but I like leather jackets in general. But yes, I do pray to someone new when I'm locked up in the rock. I pray to that person that that would be unlocked from the rock. And of course, gargling razor blades on high notes also adds to it too. 4. What's your favorite grand piano? Oh, what's this? A legit question. Oh, I'll give you an answer. The best goddamn grand piano out there is the Steinway Model D. That's a fucking amazing piano. Great sound, great design. It's the granddaddy of all pianos. If we're to put it in military terms, it's the general. It's the highest ranking. It's a 5-star piano, 6-star piano. It's like, if we're gonna talk penises, it's the biggest, hardest penis of them all. It's the king. It's the best. It's the greatest grand piano. I love that piano. The Steinway Model D. And of course, Elton playing it also helps too. Question 5. Do you raise your head and stare into the eyes of a stranger? Yeah. Yeah. Remind me to play you that version when you're on Skype, and I'll torture you with that. And I don't know, maybe I'll find someone with a purple tongue and have them flop it all over your face. I don't know. But yes, I do raise my head and stare into the eyes of a stranger. 6. What is your favorite Queen show reaction when you first listened to it? Actually, that's actually a semi-legit question too. You're off to a good start here. I don't know. I think one of my favorite reactions was when I don't know, when Glasgow 73 came out. I was showing you songs off of that, and then you were like, he hit the fucking high note, and it's like, yeah, he did. And then let's see some other reactions. that I am fond of Queen shows. I remember hitting my knees on the desk when I heard Radio Gaga from Zurich '86, and Fred squawked out, and I said, "What the fuck?" And you know, someone heard me from the next room, and you know, well, it's a long story. Let's see, and then an old reaction I remember was, when I first heard, Newcastle '79's Bo Rap, years and years ago when Freddie hits the high C in the rock section. I was like, oh my God, he hit the fucking high C. I never thought he did. That was cool. That was a cool reaction, showing that to people. I always love that. I always love when Freddie surprises you live like that you didn't expect him to do certain things, and he does do it. All right, and then next question he asked is, do you like when people butt out notes? If so, which note on the scale? Yes, I love when people bird out notes. And my favorite notes that I like to hear birding on are the ones that are usually, in the mid fourth octave, like the E, F, G, A area on the fourth octave, because it's usually a very funny sounding tone. Case in point, the I'm Still Standings from Elton John, from Reg Tour and stuff. But yes, I love when people bird out notes. And then question 8. When you wake up, are you going to be somebody? Yes, I'm going to be pissed off when I wake up tomorrow. Yeah, that's my answer to that. Oh, I'm going to be pissed off, and I am going to be somebody, and I'm going to beat somebody in public, with my fedora hat, my 2 rings, and my 4 eyes shooting, laser beams out of my fucking eyes and head, nose, it. I'm going to be somebody indeed, yes. Thank you for those questions. Now, Richard Inuliger asks 3 questions. First one is, are you looking for a city? Yes, I've been looking for Waterford, Michigan for all these years, and I finally found it. I've been looking for that for a long time, and James Canup is an amazing singer, by the way. Check out his Looking for a City rendition, and I'm Amazed is cool, too. 2, any concert plans this year, be attending or playing? Definitely not playing any shows or concerts this year. Attending, I'm on the fence. I got to get my funds together. I just moved out, and my visa balance isn't exactly something to be proud of at the moment. Let's just say it has multiple numbers all over it. I'm on the fence on attending. I want to see Rush this year, but hopefully things get more financially secure on my side of the fence. 3. What did you think of the minor setlist changes on the Queen plus Adam Lambert UK Euro tour leg? I miss Love Kills. I thought that went over pretty well in the live setting. It's a shame that had to go, but I did like the addition of Save Me, and it proved Adam actually did a pretty good job on that song. But what I thought of it was, I went with it. I didn't jump for joy, but I wasn't disappointed. I kept it fairly neutral, and so did Boo Boo Kitty. But I thought it was cool to see Save Me in the set. Thanks for those questions. And then we have Simon from Denmark. He asks a hell of a lot of questions, and I shall start. First one is there no happy like they've... Oh, let's try that again. I'm sorry, I fucked that up. Let's try that again. He asks, is there no happy ending like they've always promised? Oh, yes, there is a no happy ending like they've always promised. Jeff Tate is amazing, isn't he? I love that man. The vest, and that bald head, and the goatee, and his happy endings are amazing, especially on that radio show from Hiding Frank. Next question is, have you ever been to New York City? If yes, what'd you think? And if no, would you go there? Well, I've been to New York City twice. I loved it. It's such an amazing, diverse cultural city. So many different areas to check out. You will never tire of this city. Oh, there is so much to do. And a lot of people think it's just about Manhattan. No, it is not about fucking Manhattan. You got Boo Boo Kitty's tail in my video right here. But, no, he did not come with me on the trip. But, because I didn't have him then. But New York City is amazing. It's not about Manhattan. You have to check out Staten Island, Bronx, Brooklyn, just not Bedford-Stuy. Otherwise you'll get shot. And Queens. It's always worth checking out all the different boroughs there. And it's a great city. There is so much to do there. And I would love to go back. And then this next question is, what is your opinion on talent shows, because he quoted it, such as American Idol, X Factor, and such? Do you think they're too focused on showbiz and manipulating the contestants and have too little focus on the actual music and growth of the people? Or do you think they're doing it the right way? Well, I think the intentions are good, but the approach is wrong. I think it should be not about the image and the showbiz and the reality. That's the thing. It should be just about the music and the voice and working on your voice and the songs with coaches and mentors and the musicians behind the songs. I think that would go a lot better. The intentions are well-meaning, but the approach is not completely there. I would like to see more shows that are geared towards more of a personal one-on-one deal. You have you have the person that wants to be the singer or the musician. They should work with a person, whether it be a coach or another musician or a pro. They could work together one-on-one without any of the showbiz crap. You can one-on-one, and it'll be a lot more personal and stuff. You wouldn't have to worry about the public and stuff. Just have them do it one-on-one without any of the showbiz stuff. I think the results would be a lot better than any of that stuff. Then his final question is, what do you think of the 1 second on the It's a Hard Song intro from 9/7? I think that's a fucking brilliant intro. Where, when, my mustache favorite singer opens his mouth, it sounds like my cat getting his balls castrated. That's my favorite sound in the whole wide world. Absolutely, I love it. It's the most amazing fucking sound a human can make. It's so unpredictable, progressive, experimental. Only Freddie Mercury could make it sound like that. And it's the mustache. It's the mustache that did it. Yes, I love it. And finally, before my throat completely caves in, somebody with an awesome name called Cake Muncher 510, I believe that's what it is, asks some questions that I think are good. And Boo Boo Kitty just took off his collar. Question 1 is, what do you think Freddie's opinion on his voice was? Do you think he was aware of the talent he had? I wouldn't know what he would have thought. I mean, I've heard some stuff in interviews where he was, he'd say stuff like, I've become a stronger singer. I've lost a bit there, but became stronger. So I think he was well aware of his own voice and, what he could do and stuff. I wouldn't know what he thought of it though, but only Freddie knew his voice. It's like, we can talk about it all we want on the shows and stuff, and we can deduce stuff and listen to the shows and make educated guesses and hypotheses on stuff, but, only Freddie Mercury truly knew how his voice was and what he thought of it. I mean, who knows? I mean, I think he's the greatest singer ever, and he's amazing. I don't know what he would have thought. Maybe he thought something was shit that, maybe I thought was good. I don't know. But, who knows? Maybe I should ask Freddie. And then the second part, do you think he was aware of the talent he had? I remember reading an interview on Queen Zone it was a Dutch interview from late '85 from the fall. And he said that he knew he could, he says, when he was working with when he was in the school choir, it's like he knew he could sing and carry a tune, but he didn't know that he could use it for talent, as something to be successful and to have the talent. So I think he was aware at least that he could sing and had a voice, but he didn't know how much that voice would be so freaking good, amazing, and so awesome. So you know, again, it's one of those questions where I don't have the true answer to that. The closest to that you'd probably have to ask Peter Freestone or someone who was really, 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 really close to Freddie or someone about that, because I'm not the person to know that answer. I mean, again, I could probably talk to Freddie, but it's kind of hard to do so now. But that was a good question. The second question is, do you think early mid '70s Freddie would be able to sing any of his late '80s songs? And stuff from innuendo like "The Show Must Go On," "The Miracle," "Don't Try So Hard." If so, how would it vary judging by youthful voice? Well, he would probably use a lot more of his falsetto because early mid '70s Freddie, he did not have that high extension that he would develop later on, because when I was talking with Peter Freestone on that discussion 2 months ago, well, I should say not 2 months ago, more like a little more than a month ago. Freddie created his voice and he worked on it himself by extending his range and stuff. I do not believe he'd be able to pull off those songs the way he pulled them off at their respective albums. But the cat's trying to get out. But yeah, he's trying to get out, but he can't because I changed the door shut. But no, I don't think he'd be able to pull off in the same way. It would not sound as powerful at all. It would sound very different. It would sound much more light, less intensity, less resonance. It would sound like it would sound like an incomplete version of what's to come, because he did not have the power and the amazing extension that he developed. So it would sound weird. And the cat broke his promise and decided to, show up towards the end of the video. Oh, thank you so much. Oh, you know what? Here you go. You wanted to be in here again. There's the kitty. So yeah, that's what that's what I think about that. I think the delivery would be very different too. Yeah, look at this cat. He wants to join right at the end. Well, that is all the questions I have gotten there. 4 pages of questions, and I got a shattered voice, or near shattered voice, and a big fat kitty cat right here. So there we go. There is the 3rd episode of the GregsynthVlog, and thank you for all of those questions, and hopefully you like my answers, and I'll be back next week for another vlog episode. See you soon.